Hello and welcome to this video about Priva Alarms. In this video we would like to talk about scheduling, and that means that if you would like to have alarms sent to specific people, you need scheduling. But before we can send alarm to specific people, we need to know who those specific people are. So before we go into scheduling, we're going to do something else first. In this screen we can show who the people are that can have access to Priva Alarms. On the left hand side we see the people that have access, and if we select one, then we have here the specific of that person, the access rights that he has, if a password expires or not. And this is also the place where the first user, once invited for Priva Alarms, can add or delete or change users. So this is the place where all users should be that have access to Priva Alarms. To have access to Priva Alarms on the native app, you also need to be a user in this list. So once we have done that, as a user, once you have created various users here, and these users can have access, then you can schedule those users into the scheduling that we are going to talk about now. This is the starting screen of scheduling, so this is the place where you might recognize a few screens of this. This looks just like Outlook, where you can add people that can have sent emails to them once we have an alarm. But before we can do that, we need to make sure that specific systems with their alarm groups are assigned to a specific schedule. So this is also a place that you need to do some configuration. This is something you do just once, but you need to do it in order to assign schedules to that. Now, if you haven't created schedules, then you have to go back into the schedules and create a few schedules. I already did that, so we can do the demo. So go back to the alarm groups, and here we can say, if we have computer alarms, I do not want to send that forward. But if I have high urgent ones, these one, I want to send that forward. So from the list, I can select a schedule. And it's the same applicable for any project or any alarm group that you have in the system. Now going back to schedules, then we know that when this schedule is active, something happens within that alarm group we just mentioned, then an alarm can be sent to specific people. First, I need to add or modify a schedule, so I'm going to select the same one. And again, you can see here, this looks just like Outlook. So it's a familiar interface where people would be easy and very comfortable in adding and deleting things. For instance, if you want to add, let's say, a duty roster for a specific date, you can click and drag. Unfortunately, that doesn't work on this big screen, but if you use a mouse, it works perfectly. So I can add something, sorry, use this one. And in this case, I select the person who I need to schedule. So I'm going to take myself from a specific time, anytime, and a specific date. If I click OK, well, this is a bit short. Let's make it a bit longer. Let's do that. So you can see then, here we have created a new schedule for me. That means that if there is an alarm within the system we just assigned to this schedule, then I will receive an email on my telephone or in what other manner I receive it. Now this is just me, so that means that everything will come to me, but you can also have multiple people simultaneously assigned to the same. No, I don't want to delete it. Just want to make a new one. Let's do that for tomorrow. Just another day. And then use some different timing here. So I assigned myself a better part of the day. If you want to add a person on the same day, you can do that by just clicking on the plus, or you can, with your mouse, drag a new period. Let's say you want to have this period, and you want someone to, let's say, help you do the shift. So you just add the person, and he's added here, so you can see that on this specific time, that the alarms will be sent to me in first case, but if I fail to respond, the second person in line will receive the alarms. Now in this example I've used 2, but you can use actually as many as you like, but as you imagine, the limitation here also is a bit visual, so you can add about 5 or 10, that would work. But technically there is no limitation, you can use as many as you like. So again, if you want to delete then someone, you can do that too, just pressing the garbage bin and just delete the person. So this is about making a duty roster. And this is 1 week. We're looking at 1 week. So you can imagine if you do this and you add a person, you will not do that for 1 week, but you will do that for several weeks. So by doing that, you can also say, I do not want to look at 1 week, but I would like to look at 4 weeks. So in that case, we will see it from a specific date, 4 weeks in the future. Another really nice thing with this solution is that it has no end date. And that means that you can do a schedule or add a schedule in another year. Just press the right button here and you can go to the specific place or date or time you would like to add or change a schedule. In this case we are in 2018 in April. So this means that much time in advance you can have for setting and changing a schedule for the people that work with the system. Another really nice feature also, I will just go back a second, is the fact that you can also duplicate a schedule. So once you have created a schedule, then it is most likely that that schedule is being duplicated. Let's say you have a 6 or 7 week schedule for all your people, then you can select that 6 or 7 week period and copy it front to back. And we use this button, the duplicate button, to do that. First you will select the period from until, so in this case we're still in March, in this case from March 5th to 11th, but you can use any period that you like. It doesn't have to be a specific number of weeks. And then you tell where it needs to go in the destination. And it will copy this period onto that period. So that means that if you do it back to back, then it's very easy to create a schedule all through the year just by using the simple duplication system. Now we have 2 schedules here. Just I'm going to go back to the schedules. One I call the main duty roster and the other is about underground storage. You can add ones. So if I want to add a schedule, I can press the plus schedule button here. Then I get a pop-up, and in this case I need to find a name for the schedule, type in that name. But we have also some other settings that are interesting. I will start at the bottom. Here we see a list of people that we are about to inform. With that I mean that if you are not in the schedule, but there is an alarm in this schedule, then the person that you check in this list will also receive an email. So this is to inform specific people. That doesn't mean that they need to solve the specific alarm, but they will be informed about the fact that there is an alarm. So you can do this here. You can also tell the system how many retries it should take before someone accepts an alarm, or say I have seen the alarm, acknowledge the alarm, with a specific interval. So you can change these settings in order to find out, or to set anyway, how fast the system is moving forward in retrying and the interval. Same thing here. If you already have a schedule, you can work on the schedule and change settings in the same way that you have set them. Another feature I need to mention is the clear button. I think that's the only one that I didn't mention. So if you have created a schedule at a specific point and you would like to clear the entire schedule, with one push of this button, everything that is visible, so that means if it's a week, then the entire week will be deleted, or it's a 4-week period, it will delete the 4 weeks period. Just press the clear button and it will tell you that how many time slots will be erased, and it will erase that. A duty roster in this case, or the schedule in this case, can also be deleted. So I have underground storage for it in this case. If I press the delete button, it will delete the entire schedule. So this is a big delete. This is not just one duty roster or a few entries in the duty roster. This is the entire thing. So you should be sure before you delete that. I'm going to stick with it. So this is the scheduling functionality in Priva Alarms. Thank you for watching.